sister.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay.
man. Yeah. Clarification without
Right.
explanation.
Right.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Underground Treehouse. I'm your host, Big Kenny, and this is Guy Show where you're free to be a he. Now, we've had a fantastic episode, and right before we go, we're going to talk to Dr. Marion Christopher Pugh about the mixed messages that men are suffering from when it comes to romance and trying to find a significant other. Now, one of the things that I've always been confused by, and I know I'm not the only person, is how we're supposed to be all things to every single woman. We got to be emotional thugs who cook but fix cars, that raise pit bulls but like cats, and listen to soft music, but we got bars. You know, I don't know how women want us to be all of that. That something has got, if I'm a thug, my most romantic might be, you know, I shoot you with a small caliber weapon.
Right.
You're not going to get a thug that that grills Chilean sea bass. I'm just
Chilean sea bass.
Those things don't happen. It just don't. And if you do have a dude like that, he the feds. You know, it's some sort of, he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
This dude is setting you up to sex traffic you. So, or steal an organ. I don't just want to put it all on sex traffic because there's money in trafficked organs too.
Yes.
But we see it all the time, Dr. Pugh.
Right.
I travel the world making people laugh. I'm in all kinds of venues. I see all kinds of beautiful women in various degrees of fashion, and they look to me, they appeal to me as people who are dressing up to make themselves presentable, possibly meet a young guy. Nice young man walks up, introduces himself, and gets hit with the, I ain't that type, you know. Why are we being confused? Why are we being made to feel like being attracted to a woman is a bad thing?
Well, I've noticed, and my limited observation is people are terrified of being ridiculed for being themselves. All right. And let me tell you what I've noticed. There's a difference between what we know and what we were shown. We were shown a lot of things growing up, but we still don't know a lot. Let me give you an example. We were engulfed in make-believe, and a lot of people wore makeup.
Right.
People are make-believing as they go, and they're making it up as they go.
Right.
You got a lot of people who don't know anything but pretending that they do. Men and women. A lot of us are shooting in the dark and acting like we're marksmen, and we're not.
Right. Men
are terrified of women, and women are terrified of men. I think a lot of people are trying to correct things in their childhood, in their adulthood, by people who weren't even in the childhood.
Right.
So the issue is, and my elders always tell me, hey, childish things are for the childhood. When you get in adulthood, it's a lot of things you're going to have to leave there.
Right.
The issue, what I'm saying is, the reason why you have so many mixed messages is people still taking their childhood luggage on an adult flight. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if daddy hurt me when I was 10, I'm going to let dude in my 30s fix it. If my mom abandoned me when I was 11, I'm going to let this young lady I meet at a club, you know, rectify what my mother abandoned me with.
Right.
So the mixed messages is the mixed emotions, because the mixed emotions and a mixed thought process produces mixed messages. I'm trying to figure out who I am, but I'm still trying to heal the little child that got abandoned.
Right.
So you have a lot of people who bring in that hurt child. And right now, we see people as adults, but I see a lot of tall children that pay bills now.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Tall children pay bills. Now, I know tall children because we raising 3 teenagers still in the house.
Yeah.
But the pay bills part, they don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
They don't do that. So that would be the adults. Now,
and tall and older does not mean mature.
One of the things I will say before we wrap this evening is lately I'm encouraged to see guys even seeking answers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm encouraged to see people being willing to advocate for men in an effort to get them some understanding.
True.
And guys, it's okay to not know, man. It's okay to be a human being. So in the coming episodes, we're going to be talking about more of the things that affect men and how we process them. Now, to wrap up what you had said to me about the male-female dynamic, the young men not really understanding why they're acting the way that they did toward the women.
Right.
These childhood issues. I've always asserted that a lot of times people would levy that they were somehow abused or mistreated or neglected by their parents. And I've always believed that people a lot of times can only do with the best that they can do with the best that they have.
Right.
Have men been made to be too sensitive?
I think a lot of people have mixed definitions of the words we use. I will tell you that. Some people have been disappointed by their parents and not abused, but they've switched the words.
Okay.
My parents disappointed me, and they think that they was abandoned.
Right.
They were not.
Right.
Some people had really good parents, and the parents were inconvenient, and they've gone around and made themselves a victim in their brains.
Right.
And going around acting like the victim, and now they're going to make the world pay for it. But the parents didn't even do anything wrong. They did a lot of things that pissed them off.
Right.
But it was, when you start looking at real abuse, and I'm not trying to degrade anyone, but disappointment and extreme disappointment is not the same as abuse. You might have grown up in a household where you didn't agree with the boundaries.
Right. And
you had certain boundaries. Yeah, it may not have had nothing to do with you, but it had everything to do with where those parents wanted that household to go.
Right.
And every child is subjected to that. Whoever brought you into this world, how they run that household, I'm sorry, you ain't got no vote. The only vote you got is let me obey until I get 18.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now, what does all this mean? How in the world can you take some in your childhood and put it into your adulthood and make everybody responsible? Easy. Lack of accountability. If you're going to be the victim before you even know the situation, you're a manipulator. I'm going to say it again. If you decided you're going to be the victim before you know the situation, you are now a manipulator.
Do you think a lot of guys are now using sympathy as their new access?
Of course. Of course.
So where it used to be big boys don't cry, walk it off. We tough it out. Now men, again, we have been allowed to talk about feelings, and so a lot of us run and we really, really be into our feelings. And I mean, really, really into our feelings.
Right. And I think that's into your feelings and into your, I always tell my students this. You're supposed to have emotions, but they're only supposed to ride shotgun. They don't drive.
Oh, okay.
Your emotions have to ride with you in the car. Your body is the vehicle.
Right.
Your emotions are going to come with you. There's no such thing as literally ride. Some people put their emotions in the trunk.
Right.
I put my emotions in the passenger seat.
Right.
I need to see, hey, my emotion be like, don't want to go down that road. But my logic in the driver's seat was like, it's not a dead end sign. It's just a caution light. They're telling us that lane ends, but this lane is good. Right. And the emotion was like, okay, you made me feel better. Continue. Right. But if the emotions were driving, they were like, I think we need to go off this bridge because that water feels warm. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I be riding along with my emotions like, it's the cops. Throw them out the window. Get rid of it.
And check this out. It's back to your original question when we were talking about the culture of warfare. men, every time we let our emotions drive, extreme tragedies happen. And we have to be honest about that.
And again, that's a subject that I really want to address in smaller chunks.
Gotcha.
Because I've seen what I call letting your female emotions get the best of you.
Oh, yeah.
Drive men literally to death.
Yeah.
It results in them dying because they get so agitated and so up in arms. With
it's an imbalance. See, this is the thing you were saying earlier. Why do so many people want to impress people or try to impress women, impress this, that, and the other? I think the self-respect and the self-value has to be explored more, because a lot of us really haven't been told what value we bring. We're looking for the value in others. We're saying, hey, you put like this, when I was growing up, you got to get the girl. Okay? To do what? You know what? Like, she was the, it was like that.
And I really didn't know. I pretended. It was embarrassing if you didn't know. You just had to
you just had to know. So,
you just had to know.
And let's be honest, most of our identities are wrapped in peer pressure.
Right.
And that's scary to think about, because most of us, me included, some of the stuff I've done was because somebody said I needed to do it. And after I did it, I asked myself, why did I spend so much time doing that? That wasn't, it had nothing to do with me. But see, those messages keep getting in your head for so long. Remember, in your childhood, if you're not fortunate enough to have someone older or someone honest, older doesn't mean honest. You got to have somebody who's older, more experienced, and willing to tell you the truth. If you're blessed enough to have that and somebody help you digest that information and examine that information, you're going to be in much better shape than everybody else to tell you walk it off. Because that walk it off could be walking right into a prison cell or a graveyard.
Right.
If you don't understand what it is. Right. I was just blessed to have elders was like, I saw that. What was that? I don't know. Thank you for saying I don't know. Unfortunately for you, I don't know ain't good enough in my house. So we're going to work through this until you know exactly why you did it.
Right.
And I was blessed with that. How many people are blessed with that? I don't know.
Right.
I really don't. So the impression, like I was telling you earlier, when